are you willing to put all of your focus on the fact that Hillary Clinton can dot every I, which she can't, by the way, she can't. But
right, that's another point.
The fact that
right.
Bernie Sanders may not do it as well as she does it makes her that much more attractive to you. But by the way, yeah, go ahead. She can't herself.
No, I think not only that, I think actually this is another, that sort of turns into a broader critique and I think important conversation to have on the left that actually is, because in many ways a lot of the debates that we have today, in my view, are between a deep and smart intersectionality, which I will use that word for this audience because it's obviously a very smart and specialized audience. I try not to lead with that word necessarily, but a smart and deep intersectionality and a knockoff tokenism Twitter intersectionality that nobody needs.
Come on, man.
And those are the big distinctions. And I have to say, not only, Bernie Sanders, look, there are two important points. First of all, he does this a lot better than he gets credit for in general, and he's open to learning and growing. I was critical, on the flip side, when Black Lives Matter called him out in the summer, we had a lot of people on the Majority Report who were upset, who didn't like that he got disrupted. And we were like, no, this is good for everybody. This is good for him.
Yeah.
He's going to get better on this issue and talking about it. And it's good for a profoundly important movement that transcends an election cycle. But the second important point is that, if there's one specific issue that is completely underrepresented in any type of aware discourse in American politics, it's the discussion of class.
Yeah.
And it's a profoundly important thing to have a class-oriented politician in the center of our politics. There's an enormous innate gain from that. And if you're a deep intersectionalist, you know that class is, that, again, you're going to talk about, go to the frontiers of sexual liberation rights. You want to talk about transgender rights. Deep intersectionality is Paris is burning. Knockoff intersectionality is Caitlyn Jenner. And that's the distinction.
God damn it, man. That was good. That was good. I'm
a Leo. I'll keep taking it.
Yeah, no. You nailed that one. We definitely have to check out Two Dope Boys and a podcast. Let me circle back to one last thing before I let you go. You guys actually defended Black Lives Matter when I turned on Black Lives Matter. I watched your podcast about Black Lives Matter protesting at Netroots Nation, and we were on the same page. I'm like, this is going to be good for Bernie. This is going to be, I think who was it? Cenk Uygur. I think he was on the opposite side of the coin for Netroots Nation, and a couple other YouTube commentators from the left, they were on the opposite side. But you guys were on the same page that I was with Netroots Nation. Seattle, however, I was like, they need to sit down somewhere. They don't have a coherent strategy. It wasn't productive. What was the purpose of, why were they there? And then I tuned into you guys and you were like, hey, it's an important conversation. We need to have it. And, when is a good time? When is a good time for us to have this conversation? And I was like, I still think that they were wrong, but I just think it is noteworthy that you guys still supported this important conversation, even to the discomfort of Seattle. But yet and still, if you have any critique of Hillary Clinton, I'm quite sure you've also been called a Bernie bro.
Oh, I've been called a Bernie bro a lot. And dude, I totally am. Because, my main commitments in politics are giving everybody health care and making sure that girls don't need anything. No, I'm just playing. No, obviously I've been called it. It's totally ludicrous. I think, with Black Lives Matter, I agree with you. I did think, and I said at the time, the thing in Seattle was a lot less clear to me, how I had criticisms of it. But first of all, again, in this kind of intersectionality conversation, I'm going to be aware of, of my position when I'm talking about these issues, and that's just reality. And then number two, I think that the other thing that happens a lot is if what had happened in Seattle just happened and that was it, I probably would have been much more likely to be like, you need a better strategy, that, let the man speak at a certain point, like all of those things, which I think are very valid criticisms of that specific action. But what I found in my audience was that, there's a lot of people kind of getting on the sort of like, don't these people know that Bernie is good for them train, which Bernie has never said. He never conveyed anything like that. And I have enormous respect for how he's carried himself. But that position is bullshit and a problem. So when that came, that's what we flipped to addressing. So that was like an internal
a housekeeping thing.
And I think we did some good with that.
Yeah, no, you guys absolutely did. And I think it speaks volumes to you guys' willingness to look internally at your audience and say the attitude that's coming from our audience is not something that we are okay with. So we are going to bring a message that's going to bring a course correction to our own audience, even if we lose some of our audience. And I did the same thing, like with my position on Black Lives Matter is that I support you guys so much. I have to bring the proper criticism based on Seattle, because some of my listeners who are also Black Lives Matter supporters, I want everyone to understand there are nuances to every situation. No situation is a clear cut black or white. This guy is evil. That guy is good. This woman is good. That guy is evil. Nothing ever exists like that. So I want to applaud you guys for having that intellectual honesty and intellectual flexibility over there. And I'm quite sure you guys are going to do the same with Two Dope Boys and the podcast. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. And Two Dope Boys, I should say, Phil is one of my closest, dearest friends. He runs a company called Influencer Conference, and he's lifelong. His family's from Guyana and Barbados, and he grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Massachusetts, and we have these dissimilar backgrounds and experiences, but we're really similar. And that show is going to be about culture, brands, art, trends, and politics. It's going to get at a lot of these conversations from a different angle. Like, an example, we had a conversation recently about hip hop and nation branding. We had a conversation about Nike, quote unquote, mining ghetto culture, and how does the NBA branded, and the stories we tell through sneakers and brands. So it's a different type of conversation, but it gets to the same points, and I'm really excited about it.
Michael, I'm so glad that you joined us tonight, man. I'm looking forward to speaking with you again. And just tell everybody how to get up with you. I'm sure they already know, but just for good housekeeping, how do they get up with you?
Yes, follow me. Websites are coming soon, but right now, follow me at _Michael Brooks, at _Michael Brooks on Twitter, majority.fm, and then at YouTube at /Sam Cedar. We're on every day, noon live, Eastern time, from noon to about 1:30 or 2, and then we, everything's cut up on YouTube, and you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes at The Majority Report. But I really, really want to thank you for having me on, man. It's a pleasure. You're doing great work. And it's really an honor and a privilege. And I look forward to talking with you on and off there soon.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much for coming on, and tell everyone at The Majority Report we said, what's up from the Benjamin Dixon Show.
Absolutely. Be well, man. Good night. Good night.
You be well as well. That's Michael Brooks of The Majority Report, and soon to be the Two Dope Boys and a podcast. So I want to pick up the conversation right where he left off. You can join in.